ago, I took in a client, a beautiful family that came to me after working with their child for many years, and they had done quite a lot of protocols that are known in this community. When she came to me, she mirrored me in a lot of ways, a lot of ways. Everything that I said, she knew. Everything that I said, she knew. Everything that I suggested, the majority of them, she had done it. She had done it. So I put together a plan, and on the plan, the first thing that I put together was maintain a strict gluten-free and casein-free diet. And then I gave it some of the things. I didn't give it that GAPS diet. I didn't put it on a ketogenic or Atkins diet. I didn't put it on any of the fancy diets. I practically just said maintain a very strict and casein-free diet, a very strict. And I gave her the food to give her child. And it was quite a big variety. It was quite a lot of foods that she would have possibly considered to not give her child. So I put the kid on things like manga beans, chickpeas, lentils. I put the kid on rice. I put the kid, yes, I put the kid on wild rice. And she was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes. The only thing that I want you to do is to maintain a very strict and casein-free diet." One thing that is fascinating about this case is she had never given me a food diary. She had never, on a walk together, she never really was that client that gave me the food therapy tracker. Every time I said, "I need your therapy tracker," "Oh, Natsai, he's on a clean diet. I have done this for many years." Dun, 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 dun. And so when I give her this plan now that says maintain a strict gluten-free and casein-free diet with an expansion of all these foods and very few supplements. I mean, very few supplements. The supplements that I gave him were antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, and that's it. I didn't give him any of the fancy supplements like B12s, folinic acid. I practically took all those things off. And she thought it was an insult. After paying me so much money, she thought, "Wow, this is an insult. This is an insult." And she couldn't breathe, so she books in her catch-up call, and she was like, "I'm sorry, I have to say this. I have to say this so that I can feel better. What you've given us is what we have done for many years." And I said to her, "What were you expecting me to give you?" And she said, "My son is like this. I was thinking like this." And I said, "We don't have evidence for any of that. We don't have any evidence for any of that. And because you've done so many things, and still no results. One thing that I know, based on a lot of evidence, clinical evidence, personal evidence, it's very likely that you haven't done the gluten-free, casein-free diet properly. And I want us to start from baseline." And she went on and went on and on. And I promise you, I'll tell you, this is exactly what I said. I said, "Look, why don't you partner with me for the next 3 weeks? Just 3 weeks. Partner with me for the next 3 weeks. If your baby doesn't have any improvement, you're a very honest Christian, loyal person. I've known you for a little while now. You've been referred to me by one of my very closest clients. So I know you're going to do the work. But I want you to trust me for the next 3 weeks. If your child doesn't improve or doesn't show any signs of improvements in the next 3 weeks, I promise you we will sit together again if you want that, and we will review that. I will order the labs myself and I will pay for them. And if you don't want any of that, if you think it's wasting your time, I will give you 100% refund." "Oh, that's not what I'm asking for." I said, "I will give it to you. I will give it to you because I'm very much aware of what it means to have somebody waste your time and your finances." So she went off. I'm not kidding you. Before we got to the next catch-up on Friday, she sent me a long email of apologizing. "You were very right. You were very right, Natsai. You were very right." And then I said, do you mind if I get to have a look at your food diary? Do you mind if I can look at what it is that you were giving your child? And I am not kidding you. This is not a joke. Every morning, this beautiful little kid used to sit at the table with dad every morning, which is a beautiful thing. And they will have breakfast together every single morning. And he was having his sausages, his piece of bread, just one piece of bread. Says mom, one piece of bread. That's all. He had one piece of bread. And that one piece of bread caused him a lot of issues. Once in a while, he had pizza. Once in a while, he went for the parties. Once in a while, he went on the school trip. Once in a while, he had the treats. Once in a while. 80% of the time, he was on a gluten-free and a casein-free diet. What's the problem with that? What's the problem with that? Hashtag no cheating. Hashtag no small little amounts. So it takes about 3 months for us to be able to start seeing those positive results for removing gluten, because the body needs so much time to heal and to eliminate or to calm down that inflammatory state that is triggered by ingesting gluten. So it is very, very important that we are strict. It is very important that we bear in mind that it doesn't matter. If you look at the studies for celiac disease, 50 milligrams, which is less than half a teaspoon of gluten flour, would trigger a reaction, would trigger illness to a person that have got celiac disease. And we also know there are children that have got autism that have got celiac disease, but they have not been diagnosed because it's expensive, it's invasive, it's traumatic for some children. And some countries, some places, they have no capacity to do the labs. And in the majority of the labs, they only measure or they only test for one protein, and gluten has got a number of proteins. So lab results are not going to be reliable, or they're not going to be doable, or they're not going to be affordable for many. So what happens? The majority of children just go around with the struggle, with the pain of having to endure this reaction to gluten, and unknown to parents and unknown to practitioners. Why am I sharing with you this story? It really doesn't matter how much amount of gluten you're giving your baby. It's just Christmas. It's going to take you another 3 months, another 6 months to clean the body down, to calm the system down. It's going to take your child a lot of distress to get that gluten out. It's not worth it. It's good for me. Gluten caused my baby not to sleep, and sleep is the most important thing. We all know that. Sleep is more important than diet. Sleep is more important than supplements. Sleep is very, very important. Really, you want to monitor your intake, and that's why I keep pushing you to the therapy tracker. And if you're working with me, and this conversation is also going to those that have been on the diet for a long time, those that have done the biomedical treatments for a long time, and they have seen minimal or no results. You've done all those big things. I really want you to try and strip your baby down. Okay, strip your baby down and build your baby going up. And the first place to start is being very strict with gluten, very, very strict for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months. Be very, very strict. No contamination, no cross reactions, no cheat days. You can do it. Okay, you can do it. I want you to remember every time you give your baby a teaspoon or a crumb of bread, it is going to trigger the same chemical reaction, the same immune reaction as you have given your child a whole loaf of bread. Okay, so strict means strict. And this conversation, if really I'm going to see if we can clip this part of this conversation and put it on the social media platforms. I really want you to share this clip with your loved ones, because this is where the challenge is. The grandma, my mother was really a big issue. Really, I loved her to bits. But I tell you what, it was causing a drift in our relationship. She will have her biscuits in her bra, walk around, and then she would give them to Jojo on the other side. And here I am. I'm like, my son is on a gluten-free diet. My son is not on a gluten-free diet. Grandma is busy giving him the biscuits. And it brought me to tears, to the point that because I didn't want to be isolated with my family. I didn't want to continue to be. I missed my mom. I missed my sisters. So what I ended up having to do was, before he went to my sisters or my mom who was in his presence, I would take videos for them to see that my son is not doing this. My son is calm. I will take videos for them, and when it goes to my sister, I will practically say, you see, he doesn't have any of that. I will practically do that for my sisters to see, right? And I would say, look, I've been here for 30 minutes while I'm delivering you my kid. He's not jumping. And if he comes back home and he starts jumping, I will be taking a video and I'll be sending them that video. I will be crying on the phone uh, in the middle of the night. And I remember there was a video that I sent my sister. I practically had to delete that video. And boy, it broke all of our hearts because he had never seen it that way. Jojo did not sleep. He did not sleep the whole night. He was laughing. He was drunk. If you know, the gluten has got this morphine opioid drug-like effect on our children's brains. He was laughing. He was laughing. And here I am. I have a CQC inspection to do, just because I so wanted my child to bond with my family. I was paying for that. And when COVID-19 happened, I was so happy because I didn't have to be involved in the drama of Christmas and my child regressing, because my family just couldn't get it. And I promise you, it is very, very painful. So the takeaway to this conversation is there is no cheat day. Okay, there is no cheat day. This is the communication we are going to be sending out to everybody that is around us. I'm excited you're here, and well done again. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.